Welcome back to the Deco Stop. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the content that I've been putting out with all my tech diving videos. There's not a whole lot of them on the channel yet, but there's more to come. USS Oriskany is pretty awesome, but we also have a whole bunch of other places in Destin I'm going to take you guys to where we're doing some tech dives on. But for now, I'm going to take you guys to Jackson Blue Springs, where me and Brian are finishing up our cavern certification with Jeff Loflin. You guys saw him in my last video where he was certifying me on side mount. Now we're going to go try to lay some line in Jackson Blue Springs with that big high flow. Wait till you guys see what happens on this one. Woo, it's a doozy. Let's get in the water. All right, not the pool water. Let's really get to Jackson Blue Springs. Well, welcome back to Below the Surface. And today we're doing my cavern certification. We are at Jackson Blue Springs. And me and Brian have been waiting for this cavern course with Jeff Loflin for quite a while. Part of our plan to finish up cavern, go intro to cave, and then eventually cave. Before we get into any of that, let's see how Brian's living his life. I'm also secretly jealous of Brian's setup over here. Got the old camper van, got all of his dive stuff set up in here. This guy can literally go anywhere in the United States with all of his dive gear. Just pull over, camp, dive, do whatever. It ain't fair, man. It ain't fair. Brian, yeah. What is the secret?
The secret?
Yeah, what is the secret to
single and no kids?
Oh! In this video, I want to demonstrate some of my line tying techniques that, as you can see, definitely need a little bit of work. Those other guys that make cave diving videos make all this stuff seem super easy, but I can guarantee you it is anything but. However, just like anything, with a little bit of practice, I guarantee you it's going to become a heck of a lot easier. Now, for you guys that haven't dove Jackson Blue Springs, it is in Marianna, right next to Cave Adventures with Edd Sorenson. It's actually his shop that you have to go check into. And it's where you're going to sign your waiver, pay your fee, get your car pass, and you'll leave me your phone number. And then when you're done, you have to go there to check out, or you can call and let them know that you're safely out of the water so they don't have to send somebody into the cave looking for you. Getting full cave is my main goal. That's why I'm taking the cavern class. Do you need to take a cavern class to dive in the caverns around Florida? No, you don't. You can go there as a recreational diver. However, after taking this class, I can't recommend it enough. Just like when I was in the military, we always said, never turn down an opportunity for training. And in this case, I'm sure glad that I didn't, because I'm kind of learning a lot. And just when you think that your skills are really good, it's always good to go take a class like this so it can humble you. Because I felt like a brand new baby diver, trying to control my buoyancy, and get this line working the way that I want it to. It's kind of a lot to take in. And not to mention, this whole time, I'm being judged and graded by my instructor, Jeff. It's definitely a lot to manage all at once. In the world of diving, we call that task overloading. And there is no shortage of it in this cavern class. You guys see that line trap? Rewind. This is what we call a line trap. I was just about to run my line that way. I remember what Jeff had said about line traps. The entire purpose of running line is so that if you're in a silt out or a zero viz situation, you need that line to be able to get back out. And if you run that line through a pinch point and then you're trying to rely on that when you can't see, you're going to find yourself in an area where you're not going to be able to squeeze through, and then you're going to lose your line. And I don't think I could think of anything that would be more scary than that. But don't take my word on it, because I'm not an instructor and I'm barely a certified cavern diver. If you guys are not certified in cavern or cave, make sure you guys look up a reputable instructor and get certified. Stress your brain a little bit. Make yourself a better diver. Make yourself a better buddy. Because it's all about making it back to the surface to breathe that oh so sweet air. Right now I'm wrapping my line every 25 or 30 feet or so, because this is a pretty high flow cavern. And if at any time my line goes slack, That flow is going to push that line up, and it's going to be in my way. It's going to be my buddy's way, and anybody else that's in this cavern. In a worst case scenario, it's going to come untied, and I'm going to lose my line completely. So keep it low, keep it tight. I think I just patented that. Keep it low and keep it tight. With this being such a high flow cave, any sediment that we stir up on the bottom goes away pretty fast. So it's a really great cavern to train in. But when you have a really high flow like that, right now what I'm doing is called the pull and drag. If you're in a cavern or in a cave where you don't have a lot of silt worries, and you have areas where you can pull yourself through, where you're not going to damage the environment, then you get to conserve a little bit of your air because you're not finning as hard or as often. Alright, finally, this is my last wrap before making it over to the gold line. So I'm going to wrap it twice, and then I'm going to wrap it around itself and pull it tight. And you'll notice that my line always stays to the inside of the rock, or the tie-off point. That way when I have to follow it back, I won't have to use my hand to go around the rock to get back onto the line. The gold line. Kiss it. Lock it down. Drop it over the top and not from underneath. Wrap it once, wrap it around itself, wrap it around itself again, and then clip it off. That's about the best thing that I've done so far on that entire line drill, in my opinion. If you guys are pretty experienced, let me know what I did wrong and how I can improve. Besides the fact that I just missed that OK symbol. But now that we're tied off, we're going to go around and explore the cavern area a little bit. In the cavern certification, you are limited to the rule of sixes while diving on a set of doubles. And on a single tank, you're limited to the rule of thirds. So to make the math simple for the rule of thirds, if you have 3,000 PSI, you go in for 1,000, you come out for 1,000, and you have 1,000 for reserve. When diving doubles or side mount, you have twice the volume. So you gotta go to the rule of sixes. So you go in with 3,000, but you only go until you use 500. You come back on 500, and then you have 2,000 reserve. And that's really important because right from the start, it gives you the foundation of gas management. Which in cave diving, well, that's about the only thing that's going to save your life. On to why I love Jackson Blue so much more than a lot of the other caverns in our area. It's not a giant swimming area, so you're not going to have large crowds of people up top. You are going to have some, but not as many as Vortex. Not as many crazy people as Vortex. Heck, over in Morrison's, some kid just went to jail for putting somebody in a coma. So, things get a little rowdy at some of the springs up here in North Florida. Jackson Blue seems like it's a little bit calmer. As for the cavern itself, it's pretty big. It's almost like a donut shape. Like if that middle section wasn't there, it'd be a giant ballroom. You can always see the light to exit the cavern from any part of the cavern that you're in, unless you go all the way back on the backside of that donut. Well, there'll be periods of time that you won't be able to see the light. Technically, you're in a cave. So stay up in the front half where you can always see the light, and you always have a way back out to the surface. Most of the rocks are inlaid with thousands of fossils over the last couple 100,000 years. So that's pretty neat. And no, you can't just go taking the fossils out of the rock, because they're part of the rock, and if you try to take them out, you're just going to damage it or break it. And you're going to ruin it for the next people that come into the cavern. So leave the stuff alone. And one of the other drills that we get to practice while we're down here is the loss of light drill, where you rely on just your visual reference without the use of any electronic aid to find your way back out. Now, had it not been for the entrance light coming in, it would be pitch black in here. So this exercise just kind of humbles you on what could happen if you lost your lights. Thankfully, we're in the cavern. We stay within our limits, and we still had visual reference to that light. But how we went back further than we were supposed to, if we lost that light, this is what we'd be looking at. As you can imagine, that would be pretty terrifying. Not being able to see your way out, not knowing where your line is at, watching your gas slowly disappear. Until you try to take that last breath on that regulator and you hear that. I don't say that to scare you guys. Just as a reminder that cavern and cave diving is a lot more inherently dangerous than just normal scuba diving. Find an instructor to show you the way. Have them teach you how to do it safely. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's finish up this dive. Back at the gold line, I'm going to grab my reel and I'm going to go in reverse order of the way we got here. Now, I will tell you, this was after a couple practices of retrieving line. The first time that I did it, oh boy, I only wish somebody had a camera the first couple times. Just to give you guys an idea of what I was dealing with, I had the flow to contend with, pushing me out of the cavern. I had the line going slack. I had the air in my BC. I had a little bit of air in my dry suit. So I'm trying to reel up line. I'm trying to dump air out of my BCD, and I'm trying to vent the air out of my dry suit. However, my dry suit wasn't venting fast enough, so my air was expanding as the flow was pushing me out, and I was trying to reel in the line. And all you guys know about Boyle's Law. The further I got pushed out of the cavern, the higher in the water column I went, so the air was expanding in all of my devices. And the less control that I had over everything. And to quote my instructor Jeff, "Geez, Rob, what are you, a pogo stick? What are your feet doing on top of the cavern? It looks like somebody forgot to vent the air out of the dry suit. Really nice job on the line work. Nice try. Try it again." And that was pretty much the sum of it. So, back in the water we go. Run some line again. Retrieve some line again. Until I get it right. We found out through trial and error, and after Jeff kind of hinted at us, that while Brian's up front, he just doesn't get to just float out. He could be helping and assisting by removing arrows and by loosening up some of the knots on the rocks. That way by the time I get there getting pushed out by the flow, all I'm doing is reeling. It definitely helped out. Thanks for the hint, Jeff. But we did it.
I think that one.
That was a good dive.
That was a lot better.
Yeah, and your real runner was good.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video of me in the cavern trying my best to lay line. I know that I'm going to get ate up in the comments because I kind of suck at it. But just like everything else, practice makes perfect. And eventually I'll be laying line like the best of them. But until then, I definitely appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to keep hanging out in the swimming pool. And I don't know, maybe practice my backward spinning technique or something, or just hang out and drink a beer. The next step is intro to cave and then full cave. I'm going to continue it with Jeff. He does offer the full cave version in the Dominican Republic, so that may be on the agenda. And sorry that I couldn't film for you guys the entire process, but as a student, I can't really have my camera with me. And then luckily on that last dive, It was a fun dive after we had already completed all of our skills. And Jeff let me take my camera with me. So that was pretty cool. Well, at this point, I'm just babbling on. So I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget, hit the like, hit subscribe, and bye. Living the dream. Nah, I'm not really going to say that in the video. I'm going to take it out. I'm just trying to figure out what to say. Because sometimes making videos is tough. You just don't know what to say all the time. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video.